And I'm back.
Right. Oh.
Yes. I think. Yes. Sorry.
Problem is, I got a new camera because my old one basically fell apart. It's in one of my other videos. Oh, this actually smells nice. I was initially worried, but you know, because sometimes high-priced food does taste pretty rough. I had some caviar recently that it was sale price, but it was still expensive for me. It was about £2.50 for something quite small. But I thought, oh, I'll give it a try, and greasy, salty stuff. Anyway, the initial mouthful. Oh, well, something about the camera. Anyway, I got a new camera, and I'm not 100% perfect on it yet, because this is about the fourth time I've used it in about sort of 4 days. So anyway, the initial mouthful. Oh, it's a lot spicier than I thought it would be. It tastes of curry, definitely. It's got that sort of, it's not, it doesn't taste like green curry. It tastes actually a bit like chicken korma, which I'm a big fan of. I sometimes have chicken korma for breakfast when I'm working in the winter time. Chicken korma is one of those curries that it's actually tastier with noodles over rice. I have a tendency rice repeats on me a little bit if, you know, it's a bit too weighty to just have if you're going to go and do something physical. Anyway, a bit more. Yeah. I was originally going to be playing Sega games, but I'll do that later in the day because I've only been awake for like about 20 minutes and I'm a bit can't really concentrate. It's nice. It's got a slightly fruity taste to it. I think that must be the cinnamon. Yeah. I don't do masses of stuff around the flat at the moment because, well, I don't go back to anything even approaching work till Thursday. I'll know then whether I'm going to be kept on or given heave-ho. You know, if you want to go into that, just watch the downtime video that I did about how depressed I am and all this stuff. Yeah, I don't want to really go into depressing stuff. I'm trying to stay positively minded at the moment. Anyway, yeah. Well, it's got a slightly carroty flavour to it. A little bit like I very much like Marks and Spencer's. They do a drink that's a mixture of carrot juice and orange juice, and I can drink about 6 gallons of that. It's amazing because the carrot juice tastes nice with orange juice. It takes away a little bit of that sharpness, acidity, with that slightly irony flavour. But the orange itself, because of the sweet flavour, it takes away from the overkill of iron taste in the carrot. Yes. As I was saying, I haven't done a lot lately, but I did get the new Metal Gear game on. I was quite staggered when I saw it that it was on Xbox 360. You know, I thought it was only going to be out on the next gen consoles. There's some games now on next gen consoles that I want, but I've got so many games from my 360, and I recently started playing my PlayStation 2 again, that I'm going to get through all those games and get myself a Xbox One or maybe a PlayStation 4, because I never got a PlayStation 3 at all. That'll be probably next year when I've got the spare money, and hopefully the price will have come down quite a bit. Now I'm sort of in a period where there's a lot of 360 games that I can afford because they've been reduced. Some of them down to, well, I got the Metal Gear Raiden game with a sword and all that. Got that for £2 on Amazon, and it wasn't second hand. It was still in the wrapping. Metal Gear Rising, that's the one. Yeah, with slightly effeminate Raiden running around with a sword like Samurai Jack. That's something I never understood. Why didn't they make a decent Samurai Jack computer game? Or the Clone Wars, when the bloke who did Samurai Jack, he did the Clone Wars that was set between Star Wars Episode 2 and Episode 3. That I actually enjoyed a lot more than the CGI Clone Wars, because it was so cinematic. It didn't have so much dialogue, and there's always something you can have with a quick cut images of a cartoon over CGI. CGI is great, but it's still too much like reality. That's one of my theories why superhero films aren't as good as comics, and they'll never be as good as comics, because you can get away with a lot more with a static image than you can on a screen. The movement of an image sometimes actually works against it. I found this when I watched the Batman Dark Knight Returns animated films, but they weren't actually as good as the comic. They were okay, but they weren't really that enjoyable. I think also because they had darkness in them, but they weren't dark enough. The original comic a lot darker than the animated one. Oh, need to mix it a little bit more. Just got a partial mouthful of half hydrated powdery stuff. It has kick, this stuff. So you know, I'll give it that. It does have kick and taste. It's not bland. The one noodle thing that I'm not going to be reviewing, because I've eaten them before and they are hideous, are the own brand noodles of Tesco and Sainsbury's, because they really are literally like having a crappy cup of soup with not a lot of noodles. They don't fill it up like a pot noodle, and they're not tasty noodles like these. They're really sort of, it tastes like sort of cardboardy, and you know, it's not, you know, I don't want to be on video gagging. That's why I don't think I'd ever take up gay porn. Anyway, oh, the other thing I do a lot now, where I get a lot of my news, is Twitter. I've always been a fan of Twitter because it's not puritanical like Facebook can be. Also, because you're limited to how much you can say, it's very easy to get rid of trolls. I had trolling when I was on Facebook from RNA nutters. This was about the time of the Saudi Hook thing, and I said, well, what, men don't have guns, half men have guns. Half man is basically the word that people used in the Middle Ages all the way up to, I think, about World War I, where if a man lost his balls, he was called a half man, because he'd look like a man but he wouldn't have any reproductive system. I even tweeted about Alex Jones was beating up some ex-military idiot who, his video started with him standing there with a Stars and Stripes blazer on that looked really stupid. You can't really get away from those, get away with those sort of things unless you're in pro wrestling. I think Buff Bagwell used to wear a sort of similar top when he was in a tag team with the Patriot. He should get away with it because, like him or hate him, Buff Bagwell is probably one of my favourite showboating wrestlers, because I used to watch WCW on ITV because it didn't have cable television until about 1996. I think we got cable TV where I lived, and I used to watch WCW whenever I could. They kept changing the time of the day. They put it on, used to be on at midnight, and they moved it to 3 in the morning sometimes, then 3 in the afternoon, which was quite annoying. But I'm not one of these people who has rose-tinted glasses about WCW. It went down pretty badly because it basically turned into what the WWE is today, where they basically got their hands handcuffed, and they treated the fans like idiots. It's one of the reasons why I can understand why people are so positive about NXT, because it actually caters for adults. It's not catering for 5-year-olds who are going to buy a load of crappy merchandise. Anyway, I'm pontificating, which I do a lot. Yeah, this is a really good taste. The only drawback to this is there's not a lot in there. This makes me think, initially I was thinking of only doing one of these a day. I've got 6 of them, so I'm going to try and do another one today, and maybe even another one in the evening before I go to bed. I know it's not healthy to eat before you go to bed, unless it's like salad, because for a long while I was eating cheese before I went to bed because I like dreaming. I've forgotten the word. I use a self-hypnosis pattern that if I see certain colours in my dreams, I know I'm dreaming. So then I can control the dream. Lucid dreaming. You know, it's better than sex. I really do sort of suggest that anyone who feels depressed, try lucid dreaming. You can really taste the vegetables in it. It's quite spicy as well. They're mostly in sort of Eastern flavours. They're not like beef and onion or anything like that. Even though I do have quite a taste for French onion soup. I sometimes get the cheap noodles, throw away the packet that comes with them, the flavour stuff, the soup, and I use onion soup or oxtail soup, and sometimes vegetable soup, because it tastes richer in flavour. Anyway, this will be the test to see whether the soup is as good as the noodles. It's very flavoury. It's not a weak flavour. It's got a slight kick to it as well. When it hits your throat, it feels warm, and it's not just because of the water. It's got a sort of curry kick. Yeah, it's very nice stuff, this. Anyway, I was talking about Twitter. See, this is another problem I have. So I'm on pills at the moment that are sort of tranquilizers. I have a tendency to have a very short memory. Anyway, this bloke was on the Alex Jones show with this ridiculous jacket on and a ridiculously big gun. And he was basically saying about how the country had let him down and all this hogwash. And I lost interest when he started ranting about Obama, because I've heard this hundreds of times. Obama's going to take their guns, and even the suggestion of not having armour-piercing bullets anymore seems to be a complete betrayal of the American people. But basically he was an idiot, like Alex Jones is an idiot. Anyone who believed that Michelle Obama was a man in disguise, you got to think that, and as well as that, Alex Jones likes to paint this picture that he's a rebel, that he doesn't bow down to the man, and then he'll try and sell you a load of vitamin supplements and iodine and all this other stuff. Basically, he's a carpetbagger. He wants to be V from V for Vendetta, but he's more like a clown. I can't remember the name of the clown from It. Pennywise, that's the one. He's a Pennywise, he's not a V for Vendetta. He doesn't bring down anything but basically laughter from people who believe in conspiracy theories, because if you're going to believe in conspiracy theories, you need to have the facts. You can't just rely on, oh, this was in Drudge or this was in a newspaper, because then you have to damn well know that the journalist who wrote that is writing the truth, particularly when you take certain words out of context and add a weirdly political spin to it, which really does confuse me, because I was initially a fan of Alex Jones, mainly because he was pointing out about how ridiculous the Patriot Act was. And then Obama comes in, who is quite lefty. He's not a socialist, but the attack immediately started that he's trying to take away their guns, he's taking this. And really, if you're going to be someone who is making a political stand, you actually have to have politics. You can't rely on, I hate whoever's in charge all the time. I'm a utopian myself. I believe in having a balanced harmony between technology and the natural world. I have a leaning towards socialism in the Labour Party, because that's not the sort of socialism you had in Russia. I also have a very large leaning towards the Green Party, because they say a lot of very positive well thought out things. They take the intelligence of the teachings of Christ, but not Christ, Jesus. The Christ is a Messiah. He's a magical being with lots of silly powers, and I don't believe in that. I believe in the man Christ, like Thomas Jefferson believed in the man Jesus. Basically a man who was thinking good ideas, probably used some religion to get those pushed forward, but I don't believe that he walked on water. I don't believe the loaves and the fishes, all that other magical stuff was basically to sell the story to the Romans, who were highly superstitious people. You know, they had gods for their houses, even for their clothes. They weren't going to be won over by a good argument following logic. They needed magic to replace the magic that they already had. Anyway, I'm going off on one, I guess. Final things. This is actually really good. I would say that if Naked Noodles are going to look on the video, hopefully, maybe make a King Pot version with a little bit more noodles in it. Tastes brilliant, a really nice flavour. I may buy these again, but my initial putting off is the lack of noodles in there. The spice is fantastic. Yeah, walk without rhythm and you can avoid the worm. Oh, it's a reference to Dune. Most people don't get it. They think I'm talking about the Fatboy Slim video. No. Yes, these are quite nice. Oh, it says they're egg noodles, but I wouldn't go to eating them with chopsticks. A fork does just as well. It might be nice if you do pour it out the pot, if you're, say, serving it to a child or something, or if you're one of these people who can't cook and wants to impress the family. Yeah, it's good, strong flavour. My one criticism is that it doesn't really have enough noodles in it, and I give it a Huey score of 10 out of 17. Everyone will go, why am I going to 17? Because I like the number 17, like I like the number 7, but 7 is a small number. 17 has always struck me as a cool sounding number. I know that sounds completely crazy, but that's just me. I am a bit bonkers. Anyway, Naked Noodles Singapore curry. Hopefully later on I'll do a couple more. See ya.